I'm just wondering if there was a time in my life where I was able to fit into such a shoe size. And actually, yes. So that means I was once a baby. Even you watching this video, you were once a baby. Anyway, yeah. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. How are you today? It's your girl again, and I'm back with another exciting video. Thank you so much for clicking on this channel, for clicking on this video and actually watching it. And you're not just watching, but you're gonna watch this video to the end. I am blessed. The newness space is blessed. So thank you so much. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ini and you are welcome. You are welcome to the newness space. Please subscribe to this channel by clicking on the subscribed button. Also turn on the notification bell so that whenever I post a new video, you will be one of the first to be notified. Remember also, just to tell you, if you're new to this channel, I do have post notification shoutouts, and that goes to the first person that comments on my videos. So if you want a post notification shoutouts from me, please do so by please comment on my video and I will give you a post notification shout out. This is just to encourage comments. I love reading comments, so please comment, say something. Hi, that's good video, something just to encourage. Thank you so much anyway for coming and passing by this channel. I hope you find reasons to stay and to come back for more videos. To all my returning subscribers, oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. To have someone return to watch another video of yours, it means it's really encouraging. So thank you so much, my returning subscribers. Thank you so much. God bless you. I really appreciate you, by the way. All right, so today guys, I told you this year I have exciting content. Yes. So today I have a guest in the house. Yes, I have a man who is here to share with us his labor and delivery experience with his wife. Yes, this is someone who was there in the labor and delivery room with his wife, and he feels it is right to share the story and the experience he had there, maybe probably to encourage another person out there, a man out there, contemplating, should I go into that room with my wife or not? Yes, so Francis Mwakamba is our guest today, and he's here to tell us about his labor and delivery experience with his wife. Yes. So if you are a man, you're a woman, please grab a snack, grab something to drink, because it's gonna be getting really interesting. And let me just have a disclaimer here. This video might be a little bit longer than usual, but anyway, it's exciting and it's interesting, so you won't even feel the length of the video. All right, so just grab a snack, grab something to drink, and stay put, and let's allow Francis tell us about his experience. Are you ready? Let's get into this video.
Hi guys, my name is Francis Mwakamba. I'm a husband and a father to a 5-month-old baby. I'm here to share my experience during my wife's labor period and the delivery of our son. Well, everything started on Monday morning. We were waking up to do our prayers, normal prayers, and my wife suddenly had like a gush of water, and she told me that her water has broken. From our visit with our gyna, she had told us to look after 3 things, one of them being the water breaking, and that was a reason enough for us to go to the hospital. We prepared, and we left the house at around 6, and we reached the hospital since it is nearby, and she was admitted. We waited for our doctor. She came at around 8 in the morning, administered induction. After the induction, since it was early in the morning, I left her and went to work because the doctor told us that it was to take about roughly 14 hours for the contractions to begin. So I thought that I would go to work and maybe come a bit later. Well, from work, went back to the hospital, and I found my wife with family. We had called them in the morning to tell them about the situation, and I found them there with my wife. From around 8 p.m., When the nurses came to check my wife, she had only dilated 3 centimeters then, so they had to administer another induction. After that, now that's when things started to happen. The contractions and the labor pains kicked in, and things now seem to be getting serious. While all this was happening, my wife was pacing up and down the corridors while I was seated watching and looking at her, and I felt very helpless. I couldn't eat anything. I had this mild headache. I don't know where it came from, but I guess it's because of the anxiety. You know, that's what happens to a first-time parent. And so that was from about 8 to around 11, and the pains were really taking a toll on my wife, because I could see it, you know, on her face. She was really in so much pain that I felt helpless as a man, that I couldn't help my wife, and I was really worried about her and our baby. From 11, the security guards came, and they asked the family members and the friends that were around to leave, and so I was left with my wife. You can imagine that I was in the condition that I was, as I didn't know how to do anything to help her or to assist her. As the contractions were becoming closer, the pains were seemingly becoming strong, because I could see it on her face. I remember at some point I was assisting my wife with the breathing techniques. I did some research prior, and watched some few videos, and I realized that also the breathing, helping my wife to breathe, was important, so that she could use the energy, well, the doctors know, that energy later on to push the baby. So things progressed from around 11:30, quarter to midnight. I noticed that my wife was becoming a bit restless. So she told me that she wanted to go to the washroom for a long call, and that was a bit alarming to me, because also from my research I'd done before, that was not advisable at this stage. And so I accompanied her, and because the hospital that we are in, the toilets were the sitting toilets. Well, I noticed my wife was getting comfortable while on the toilet seat, and that was not good. So I told her to get up from there and go back to the bed. A few minutes later, she was acting a bit strange, so I went to the nurse station, and I called the nurse. They came in and checked her, and without even looking or checking on the dilation, just looking at her and how she was, they knew that this was it. So they came in with a wheelchair, and they wheeled her to the delivery room, which was not far from where she was. Initially, I told myself that I was not going to be in the delivery room, because of some few things that I had before. It was a bit scary for me, because I really didn't know what to expect, because you know, that was a bit scary for me. So I paced up and down. I think it was about a minute or so, and after that I just felt an urge to walk in. After walking into the delivery room, the first thing I saw was the baby's head, but it was not completely out, and so I was a bit scared, and that sort of triggered something, you know, adrenaline rush, and I went to the upper side of my wife to sort of support her and assist her with the breathing. The nurses there with us were helping and advising my wife on what to do, the correct posture, and basically the details in preparation for the delivery of the baby. In say about in a few minutes, she was already starting to push, and uh, if I'm not wrong, it took about 3 or 4 trials, and the baby was here with us. That was really, it was a moment that probably I'll live to remember the rest of my life, having witnessed the birth of my baby. For some moment, I forgot about my wife and I rushed to see the baby to make sure that the baby was okay. And yes, it was really good. It was really an experience, a feeling that is out of this world. Uh, the doctor checked my wife after the delivery, after the birth of the baby, and she called me aside and to inform me that my wife had a tear that had to be rectified, in the theater, and so that sort of dampened the spirits. But all in all, I just wanted to make sure that my wife and my baby were okay. So I was called to sign some documents to give consent to allow my wife to be taken to theater, uh, and that was really, something that sort of, made me a bit shaky, a bit worried for my wife, because just after the delivery of our baby, then here my wife is being taken to the theater. The doctor gave me some assurance that she's going to be okay and everything was going to be okay, and that it's something that happens occasionally. So that was some minutes past midnight. The baby was born at around 12 or 7 in the morning. So a few minutes later, my wife was taken to theater. I stayed behind with the baby, but I couldn't see him. I couldn't because I couldn't, hold him, because he was taken to the nursery as my wife was taken to theater. So I thought to myself, what was I going to do at that particular moment? I decided to go downstairs where my wife was being taken care of by the doctor, the theater room, that is. I waited outside for about 30 minutes. Finally, the doctor came out and she told me that everything is done, everything is okay. It was only to wait for about an hour or so for the anesthesia to wear off. What stood out for me during this entire process, the labor and the delivery of our baby, was the grace that God has given ladies, our wives, and the mothers out there. It made me have a new respect and, an honor to all the mothers out there, because the pain that they go through, the different situation and circumstances that they go through, given that my wife had to go to theater to be rectified and for the condition, for the tear to be corrected. Really, that is really something that, made me have some newfound respect for the mothers and my wife. The other thing that stood out for me is the parental instincts that kick in sort of immediately that the baby was born. For me, I kind of for a moment forgot about my wife and rushed to see and check on whether my baby was okay. And that is something new that happened. It's a new person that is totally dependent on you, and it sort of kicks in. And the other thing is maybe the responsibilities that come along with all that. Having never signed a consent form for somebody to be taken to theater, that for me was a first. And though it was scary, but the responsibilities that come along with that, and the pressure in itself to bear all that, that takes a lot of grace, a lot of courage, for somebody to bear. And so for me, that was something that those are some of the things that maybe basically I learned through this entire process. And maybe advice for men out there, for fathers to be, You can never be, too prepared for something. Be ready to learn, be flexible enough, because as I stated earlier, I told myself I was not going to be in the delivery room uh, during the delivery, during the birth of our baby. But I don't know what happened. I just found myself walking in, and I was there to help, to help my wife. So be open-minded. You can never tell yourself that this is something you're not going to do. This is something you're going to do. It's adjusting. In the moment when it needs for you to do something, you are just quick enough and you do it. The other advice is to always be there for your wife, for your partner, for your spouse, because you are there. The both of you were there, so be there the very end. It's something different, to hold your baby in your arms and look at him or her and know that this indeed is a blessing from God. And maybe the final thing, as an advice, as a Christian, I've learned, speaking a blessing on your baby, on your child, immediately they are born. You're speaking to them. You are giving them the direction, the training that the Bible talks about. Starts from that particular moment, that they know that this is what they ought to do. This is what they are supposed to know right from that particular moment. And the other advice would be perhaps to have some spare finances, as spare cash aside. For us, we had planned for a normal delivery. Though it happened, my wife had a tear that had to be corrected in theater, and that needed for us to sort of pay a little bit extra. So be prepared for anything, because things happen, and you need to be well prepared. And so that's it. That was my experience. I pray that you would also be there for your wife, be there for your partner during the delivery, during the labor, and help them go through this. Thank you.